This video is the result of collaboration between MavenNet, Credavera, and Transmute during November 2021. It illustrates actual interoperability between our three companies' platforms, issuing, presenting, and verifying verifiable credentials. We'll follow the refinement process of steel, from importing scrap metal through smelting to exporting high-value steel products. For the first step of this process, we'll log on to Canadian Steelco's platform. There's a pending presentation, which we'll go ahead and accept. That puts a mill test report in our organization wallet. The mill test report, let's take a look at that, comes from our Argentinian collaborator in Buenos Aires. And what it describes is a shipment of scrap metal. Here's the commodity code. And to make sure, we'll just verify it as well. It verifies, so that's good. Now, in order to import the scrap metal into Canada, what we'll do is pass along this mill test report to our broker. So we'll initiate a presentation through a business card from our broker and select the mill test report to be passed along. And we sign the presentation and off it goes.
We have received a presentation from the Canadian Steelco, and we're going to log in onto Metal Trail as a broker. So we're going to log into the broker's organization. We're going to inspect our new notifications. We're going to see that there's been a new product that was shared with us. We're going to open this product, and we're going to see that it was valid and that we have received it and it is currently in transit. So what we're going to do is we will be adding a new event and capture an entry number so we can submit it to CVSA. This entry number, for the sake of this transaction, will be a sample entry number. Once submitted, we have now captured the entry number. It is now declared. After the broker has declared the product for import, we will now log in as CVSA at their CVSA portal. We can see that we have the exact same product, and we are able to view all of its details, including its grade, its weight, and its origin location. What we can then do is we can release the product. By doing so, we have accepted this product and verified that it is all accurate. After receiving the release documents and having the transport complete, the steel mill at Steelco would like to modify the scrap steel product that it received and transform it into some hot rolled steel coils. And so to do that, we're going to be going for hot rolled coils. We will be adding the measurements of what we have, and then we will be smelting the product. After smelting the product, we will be issuing a mill test report of the product and sharing it with the inspector for the next step of the operation.
I'm an inspector with Interoperability, and you can see in my mobile wallet that I have my inspector ID in place. I'm going to use that inspector ID to log into the system to go ahead and do an inspection. So I click on the Authenticator Login button, and a QR code comes up that is a presentation request. Clicking on the Scan QR Code function, I open up the QR code, and the permission request comes back. Do I want to authenticate using this credential? I say yes, I would like to. I'm going to allow. And it comes back with a request approved on this side and a callback on the other side to go and authenticate that user. The user data is loaded, and you can see my credential in my wallet. From here, I can open up the credential details, and I have the verification details of what's been done with that credential and who it is currently issued to. Going back to the main wallet, I can see that there is a pending inspection. And if I click on this, we'll see there is a presentation that came in with two separate mill test reports. The first one is for scrap metal, and the second is for the steel coils. I can see all of the details that I need to see as an inspector. I can inspect the coils directly, and I will mark them as passed. From here, I submit the inspection, and there's some handshaking that is done with the next presentation request. A challenge comes back, and a presentation is built using that challenge. I hit submit, and the system does the handshaking and submits the final presentation.
Back on Canadian Steelco's platform, we've received the inspector's report. It looks good, and we'll accept their presentation. With the raw materials verifiably documented, Canadian Steelco goes about the refinement process, punching out car door assemblies. As a final piece of documentation, we'll issue the corresponding product credentials. Finally, we'll transfer the entire traceable pouch of product documentation to our customer in the US. Over on the US car manufacturer's platform, we've received the full set of documentation and can verifiably see how Argentinian scrap metal, through these steps of refinement, was turned into pristine door assemblies. That's phenomenal. So we'll go ahead with the import procedures, presenting that full set of documentation to CBP.
We can see that we've logged in as an administrator with CBP and have our details of our profile here. If we go into administration, we're able to see that there is an outstanding presentation that needs to be addressed. So selecting that, we can see the presentation contains information regarding doors assemblies. Selecting that, we can see the presentation details, including the 5 separate verifiable credentials. Inside of this, we can see the credentials that we've seen earlier, showing scrap metal and coils, the details of the inspector and the inspection report, and finally, the mill test report on the product having been converted into door assemblies. Each one of these has signature verification details using different methods to show that they have been issued by different issuers. All have come together in a single presentation and can be submitted to ACE.
And thus we complete this process of typical data flows in the steel industry as products get imported, refined, and exported. The true purpose of this video, of course, to illustrate standards-based interoperability between our platforms. It's important to note that any of these steps could have been carried out by any of the platforms. On behalf of MavenNet, Credivera, and Transmute, we thank you very much for your attention.